Hello everyone, welcome to our webinar, our Educator Extras webinar about UK visas. My name is Tenielle. We've got Suzi and Sharryn on as well.
Hi.
If you can't hear us or you've got any technical problems, you can't see the screen or can't hear us or anything, please type through a question and let me know, and we can try and fix that up. But you guys can hear me all right, can't you, Suzi and Sharryn?
Yes.
Yep, cool. And see the screen? All good? Lovely. So I suppose we're going to run this, probably go for about half an hour, maybe a bit less, and we'll just run through, everything to do with UK visas, how to apply, what's going on at the moment with visas and UK immigration, and answer any questions that you've got. So if you have any questions throughout, please feel free to type them through and we'll try and answer them throughout or at the end, and we can follow up as well. So I'm based in Melbourne and I'm a UK relocation consultant, and my role's organising and helping out with the whole kind of picture of moving overseas to the UK. And then Sharryn, do you want to introduce yourself and your role?
I'm Sharryn Phillips. I'm a visa support consultant and happy to help you with getting your visa organised when you're ready to go to the UK or other places.
Yeah, lovely. Suzi?
Hi, I'm Suzi. I do the same as Sharryn. We job share the role. So, yeah, I'm here to help you as well.
Lovely. So if you're not already aware or you haven't looked into visas or living in working in the UK yet, to live and work in the UK, you need to get working rights. And so that's usually through a visa, unless you have a British passport or currently an EU passport. So most people apply for a youth mobility visa, or most of the educators that we work with apply for a youth mobility visa, which we'll run through, or an Ancestry Visa is another common one that we support with as well. So we'll just talk you through those options. Who wants to run through the youth mobility visa? Suzi, looks like you.
Well, yep. All right. Youth Mobility Scheme, Tier 5. So it's a one-time visa. You can only apply for it once. You have to be aged between 18 and 30, and you can lodge your application before your 31st birthday. You need to have 1,890 in savings in pounds. And that gives you 2 years to live and work in the UK, and you have full access to the NHS, which is the UK government's health scheme. And our visa fee for the UK visa fee is £244, and then you pay the immigration healthcare surcharge on top of that.
Yeah, so we'll go through a bit more of what the immigration healthcare surcharge is and what that how much that costs for each visa. But this is the visa that most of the educators that work with ANZUK apply for. So this is what I lived over in the UK on when I moved over there. And yeah, it's great. Gives you 2 years. Working holiday visa is also what a lot of people would call it as well. And then the other option is the Ancestry Visa. Sharryn, do you want to run us through that?
Sure. So the Ancestry Visa, you need to have one or more grandparent born in the UK. Same amount of savings, £1,890, in addition to the cost of the visa. Gives you 5 years to live and work in the UK and full access to the NHS, but of course there's 5 years NHS that you have to pay. And the cost is £516 plus that healthcare surcharge.
Yeah, and probably you guys are the best to talk through the timeframes and the application process as well. What's the best time for us to start putting someone's application in process, and how long does it take to do all of the steps, I guess?
Okay, so you can put your application in, it's all right, 6 months before you're due to leave. And we'll give you we'll send you a form that you need to fill in, and we'll take all those details off and put them onto the Gov UK site. And then what we do is send you an invoice for the full amount. Once we receive payment from you, we can go ahead and book your appointment at the Visa Application Centre. Once you go for your appointment, we've been seeing it takes about 10 working days to get it back. But obviously with all this coronavirus going on at the moment, we're not sure how long that wait is.
Yeah, there's a few, usually, yeah, we've got a bit more info about that a bit further on, but usually it's pretty good turnaround. You don't have to do it, yeah, because it's a quick turnaround. You can do it as early as 6 months prior to when you're planning to go, but usually, would you say around like 3 months is probably the best? You don't want to kind of leave it too late. You want to probably give yourself about 3 months so that you've got that time to have your passport back and feel confident about having it in your hand, ready to go, and not leaving it till the last minute. There are options to fast track it if you want to, but if you're speaking with us earlier on, it's best to avoid any extra fast tracking fees and that sort of thing. So the immigration healthcare surcharge, a little bit more information about that. Anyone who gets a visa for the UK is required to pay a healthcare surcharge, which they call the immigration healthcare surcharge, or the IHS, as part of your application. It's paid up front in full with the cost of your visa. So on those last slides, we mentioned that it's per year. So for the 2-year visa, you're paying, you pay for 2 years worth of it. And for the Ancestry one, it's going to end up being quite a bit more because it's paying for 5 years of it. But it means that you're fully covered by the NHS once you're over there. So just to give a bit of information about what the NHS is, I'm not sure, well, we'll end up having, I think, a few people watching the recording of this, some from Australia, some New Zealand, and some Canada. So I've put an example here in relation to Australian like private health insurance. I know in New Zealand and Canada it's a little bit different, but I guess to break it down a little bit, it works out to be around about $45 Australian per month of the cost of the duration of your visa. And that then covers you, all of your GP appointments or any treatments are covered. There's free hospital treatment if you needed it. Prescriptions, most of them are free, but some are subsidised and capped at a lower amount, and the same with dental as well. So it's sort of pretty, and there's like physio and chiro and stuff in there as well. So it's pretty similar to having private health insurance in Australia. It just sort of, I suppose, is something that you have to pay up front with your visa cost. Do you have anything else to add about the NHS, please?
No.
Sums it up.
Yep.
It's pretty good.
Yeah, so it's a really good system over there. I found that to be great when I lived in the UK. So how the cost of it works out is currently it's £300 per year for the youth mobility visa. So £600. That's where I've done that calculation to say roughly about $45 to $50 Australian for 24 months. The cost of the immigration healthcare surcharge is actually going up as of the 1st of October this year. So obviously it's a bit of a weird time because usually I guess we would be saying, get your visa now so that you can save your money on not having to pay that extra increase. But you obviously want to consider other things at the moment as well with COVID and making sure that you're traveling at the right time for you as well. But if anyone is planning on going over soon, it'd be good to consider consider those increases and look at getting in touch with us earlier. Anything to add on that front?
No.
It's a bit unfortunate it's going up, but that's just what happens with government payments and things like that. So that brings the total cost for the visa currently, the youth mobility visa, to these amounts look right based on our invoices in pounds, I guess. Once you're paying in Aussie dollars or Kiwi dollars, or Canadian. It changes a bit with the international fees and stuff, but it's around £844, which is like roughly double to Australian dollars, I think.
Yeah, it is. Yeah.
Yeah, it's about
Yeah.
50 is a pretty good thing to base it on at the moment.
Yeah, it's usually maybe a little bit less than that, but if you're basing it on that, then you might have a nice surprise. It's cheaper than you think. And so what happens is, Sharryn, do you want to explain like our process and how the our $99 fee comes into it and what that covers, I guess?
Yeah, so with the $99, we take care of all of the input and any queries that come out of that. We make sure that you've got everything in order for when you actually go and do your biometrics appointment, and hopefully make it as painless as possible, because it's quite a journey to travel with all the information that they ask for and just the finer details, just so you make sure, because if you get it wrong, they don't give you money back and let you try again. You've got to pay again to do it. So it's you got to make sure you've got everything right the first time.
Yeah, I think that's like what the main feedback that we get. You know, obviously you're only applying for a visa once, so everything's kind of new to you when you're reading through these questions and everything from the UK government, and you know, things can be daunting questions and how things are worded. So I think that's the feedback that I've heard from everyone since Sharryn and Suzi have been in the team and supporting people with visas, is that it's just so nice to have someone to help you out who's been, you know, who does them on a regular basis and knows how to answer things correctly and the time frames and all those sorts of things, just to reassure you and help you out every step of the way. And so with that $99 as well, we do actually reimburse half of that if you end up taking a job with us in the UK and after the first term. So you end up, it only works out to be about a $49 fee on top of the application cost itself and what goes to the UK government. So we've got a few bits of information to share about travelling and the current situation with COVID. We thought we'd just sort of discuss some of the scenarios that we've had with people who have been, who've been affected. We had a lot of educators. I'm not sure how many of you that are tuned into this currently, but hopefully this will be helpful if you did have plans to arrive in the UK over the last few months and you haven't been able to activate your visa and arrive in the UK within the 30-day arrival window that was on your visa. So the UK government actually have put out, I've got a link to this, which will send all these, I'm going to put an email together after this and send all these links out with the recording of this so that you can go back and check into different things that are more relevant to your own situation. But just to show, this is kind of all the information that the UK government have been putting out about visas in relation to coronavirus and travelling and everything. So we've been making sure that we're going through this all the time and sussing out what people have been, how people have been affected by it and what responses they've been getting from UK immigration, and we've tried to do a few ourselves. Where's the bit that I'm looking for? Lost it. Oh, I can't find it now. I'll send the link. But basically what I was going to show was the section about pushing back your dates or cancelling your visa and applying for a refund if you were not able to go at that time. So with cancelling your visa, we've had, is it just one that we've done that for? Or we've had a couple that we've cancelled and requested a refund, but not the full refund has come back. Suzi, was that someone that you were dealing with?
Yeah, I did one. I cancelled her visa. She only got the visa fee back, not the IHS, which I got her to send an email to them, but we haven't heard as yet if she's getting that back.
Yeah, so the UK immigration, visa immigration part of the government have set up a coronavirus immigration hotline to contact, and by the looks of different Facebook groups and all the people we've been speaking to and lots of stuff online, that email will be absolutely inundated with so many emails and so many different queries about people's situations. So we have been hearing that not many people have been hearing back yet. So we have, had, as Susie said, someone who's opted to cancel their visa, but there isn't 100% clarification around whether you do get the full visa fee, the immigration healthcare surcharge and the application fee back. So that's one of the options and something to be, to know before you take that step. The other option that they've put into place is that you can actually push back your dates and change the dates of the 30-day arrival window that you were given when you applied for your visa. And they do at this time only because of coronavirus. That will give you a new 2 years. So say you were supposed to arrive in March of 2020, and that we're going to give you 2 years to March of 2022. You can apply through the coronavirus immigration hotline to push your dates back. And if you push it back for a new start time, say December this year, then it will give you 2 years from December. So that's really good information for us to know, and it doesn't actually cost any money to do that. However, the process of doing that at the moment is still kind of on hold. We haven't been hearing a lot of people that have been hearing things back about that yet. We've had a couple of people who have, and they were people that wanted to go pretty much straight away. So would you say, well, I'm assuming that they're just getting back to people who have urgent plans, but not the people that are looking to move, their dates till next year yet. So they're prioritising the urgent plans.
Seems that way.
Yep.
Yeah. So yeah, that's kind of where we're at with that. But I'd say, if you were considering moving over to the UK and you do still want to go eventually, it's worth just holding on to what you've got for now until it's a little bit clearer, and you've still got until the end of this year to be able to move the dates of your visa before opting for that cancelling option, where you may not get the whole, your whole refund back. Another thing that's going on at the moment is VFS Centres. So that's where you have the biometric appointment. So you go after you do your application and get your fingerprints done, and they check your supporting documents and your application. Not all of those centres around the world are open at the moment. It seems like is all the ones in, looks like New Zealand and Canada are all open. Is that correct, Sharryn and Suzi?
Yeah, they are. Yep.
Yeah, as far as we know, Melbourne's closed at the moment, so that's our biggest downfall at the moment.
Yeah, because we have a lot of people that want to move over from Melbourne.
Yep.
So hopefully the VFS Centre in Melbourne will open before, once our current restrictions are eased a bit. But there's currently no way to be able to process a change in your visa dates or process a new visa application without doing that step where you physically go into the Melbourne office if you are based in Victoria. And obviously, because we're locked here in Victoria, if you are here, you don't have the option to go to interstate to the Sydney office or something like that if you did really want to go. So unfortunately, moving from Melbourne at the moment, unless you have a current active visa that you don't need to change the dates or anything, or if you have a British passport, leaving from Melbourne is on hold for now, but anywhere else is pretty good to go. The other thing with leaving Australia at the moment, if you wanted to travel somewhere within the current situation, you can leave Australia if you're planning to live and reside overseas. So that means if you have your visa, you've got plans and intentions to actually move overseas rather than just going on a holiday, you can apply for a travel ban exemption, which we can support you with and provide you with an employment letter, as well as the information, obviously, of having applied for your visa. And there's no travel bans in place to move away from New Zealand or Canada. So you can actually leave New Zealand and Canada without having to apply for an exemption letter and arrive in the UK. And then arriving in the UK, they've actually eased things up quite a bit over there and they don't have a travel, or they don't have a travel ban basically to leave. There's actually quite a lot of countries exempt from the isolation as well. And if you have a look at that, you'll see Canada, New Zealand and Australia are on the exempt list. However, it's pretty difficult to get from any of those places without stopping over in somewhere else in the world, which would require you to still isolate for 14 days. So if you're planning on moving soon, it's pretty likely that you would have an isolation period of 14 days when you arrive in the UK. But again, going to send some links to different government pages which will have all that, so that you can keep track of that information yourself as well. Have we got any other situations or anything that we're with the COVID pandemic that you think would be useful to share?
I haven't, no.
I think what's good, is looking promising is that we have definitely had we know that you can push the dates back and that you do get a full 2 years if you are doing that. So that's really good to know, and hopefully means that if you are in that situation, you can push things back to later in the year or early next year and still get that full 2 years of your visa. What has happened here? So there are some other visas to move to the UK. We probably would specialise most in supporting with the Youth Mobility Visa and the Ancestry Visa, and they are the most easily accessible visas which you can get that are independent to your own situation, and you don't need to, they're not linked to your work. So having the Youth Mobility Visa, it's not actually linked to us. Even if ANZUK support you with processing the visa, it doesn't actually link it to your work in any way. It just gives you the right to work for 2 years. Some of the other visas that we might have, people might be working with us and they might have obtained these visas themselves as a right of abode or a spouse or partner visa. So if you've got partners, if your partner was British and has a passport, right of abode is similar to Ancestry, isn't it? Sharryn, Suzi, you were doing a right of abode.
Yeah, I've only just started though. It's pretty similar. Yep.
Yeah, so it's due to your Ancestry that's over there, and it gives you the right to stay in the UK indefinitely, I think. And then the spouse or visa, partner visa, is if you have going to live with a British partner. There's quite a bit more involved in that when it comes to the savings and what you need to prove to show your legitimacy of your relationship, I guess. So we can point you in the right direction of that sort of thing, but usually if you're doing that, it's good to get a immigration lawyer to support you with it. Student visas as well are a little bit different. You don't get very much working rights on a student visa. I think it's only sort of 15 to 20 hours per week. So we don't have a lot of people working with ANZUK on student visas in the UK. And usually if that's not something that we've supported with in the past, I guess if you were going to study in the UK, it would be through the college or university that you were going to study through that would support with that process. But if that is something that you, a path that you've looked down before and you have the working rights, then we can definitely support you with work in the UK if you're on that. And then some other ones that we come across is sponsorship. So I'm not sure if anyone's on here that was hoping to find out a bit more about sponsorship. Sponsorship means that there's a visa called a general work visa. And that means that you get a employer sponsors your visa to live in the UK. So that definitely is tied in with your job. We don't actually process sponsorship visas in our team, but schools that we work with have sponsored educators, that have got work through us, and then they take on that process themselves. Sponsorship is pretty difficult to obtain, to be honest, and very difficult if you haven't previously got a job and a relationship in a school in the UK. So if you are looking for more information on sponsorship, we've got a really good blog, which I'll send the details of as well. And yeah, then you can ask us any questions. Some schools are looking, may look at that pathway, but it will usually be for qualified and experienced secondary maths and science teachers only. They would look down that path for. And then an EU passport. If you have a passport like an Italian passport, Greek passport, anywhere in the EU, currently you can move to the UK and live there on that passport. But since Brexit, that's actually changing. And as of the end of December this year, that will no longer be in place. And then anyone who has an EU passport would also need to qualify for sponsorship and have a role directly through a school. So things are changing with that a bit as well. And we've got a blog that gives a bit more detailed information on that. But if you're under the age of 31 and you had plans to go over on an Italian passport or something like that, then you'd still be eligible for a youth mobility visa if you're an Australian, New Zealand or Canadian citizen as well. Anything else on other visas? Have we had any other queries about other visas?
No.
Not at this stage.
One thing that is going to stay in place since Brexit, so Irish passports, Northern Ireland is part of the UK, so that's fine if you've got a UK passport. But for the Republic of Ireland, they have a separate deal with the UK government that separates them from the rest of the EU as well. So they actually will, if you have an Irish passport, say your parents are Irish or you have a way of obtaining one of those, then you would still be able to move and live and work in the UK on that as of beyond next year. Just a little bit more about ANZUK. So obviously we can support with your visa to move over to the UK, but we're also support with everything else, obviously getting work and working in UK schools or here in Australia and New Zealand as well. So we do kind of support with the whole move over. So everything from applying for your visa, social events and connecting with other people making the move over, whether that be from Australia, New Zealand, Canada. We have, lots of things on. Lots of things when it comes to just your life admin, like getting organised, finding somewhere to live, lots of resources. So as I said, I'll send some links through in a follow-up email, which will have lots of links to our blog, which has stories from other educators who've done the same thing before. There's some fun photos of lots of the social events and things that we have on over in the UK. So most of the people, smiley faces you see on there would be people that are gone over on the 2-year working holiday visa and I suppose met at a lot of the events and things that we hold. So that's something that's really fun about working with ANZUK as well. Just checking if have we got any questions? Nope. We're almost at the end. We are at the end here. Have we got Sharryn or Suzi? Have you got any more? We haven't actually got any questions come through. So, any more comments on our visa services?
No, I think that wraps it up.
No, but just maybe the police check is a cost that has to be paid as well, and the 3.5 commission that PayPal charges us. So there's a few little incidental costs on top of it, but apart from that, everything's been covered. Yeah.
So there another thing, you need to get a police check from wherever you've lived before, which usually is an Australian or New Zealand or Canadian plus the UK one. So that ends up being a cost of about $140 depending where you are, and then. So there's a few little extra costs. I think I had it written there, but I don't think I mentioned it about the relocation bonus. So as I mentioned earlier, with that $99 fee, we do reimburse half of that if you do take on a contract with us and work for us for at least a term in the UK. And along with that as well, we offer up to a £500 relocation bonus, which sort of is supposed to be a little reimbursement to help you out with what you have spent on flights and visas and things like that as well. So, that's something that once we have a chat to you about what your plans are, we can cover as well. So sort of helps out, yeah, a little bit after you've been there not long. And just about our Educator Extras series of webinars. So we used to do kind of big, long info sessions about everything, but we've decided to do little, more kind of half-an-hour bite-sized info sessions about all different topics to do with teaching overseas. So with this one being about visas, the next one we're doing is about where to live in the UK. So in the email that I send through, there'll be a link, or it is on our website as well, if you want to register for that one. And we're just going to talk through our area guides that we've got. So we've all kind of, yeah, those of us that are going to be on that one have lived in different areas around the UK, and just going to talk about that, some tips on finding accommodation, that sort of thing. So that is on Wednesday the 19th at 5 p.m. as well, and it'll be about half an hour too. Oh, we might have a question actually. Were the biometric appointments happening in, oh, hang on, it's not coming up for me. Sorry, give me one sec. Hi, Freya, how are you? So the biometric appointments, I don't think the VFS Centre was open during stage 3 either, was it? It hasn't been open this whole time.
It had been closed the whole time, and it was due to open on the 27th of July, last Monday, and it didn't happen. So now it's in lockdown again. They haven't given us a date that it's going to be open.
Yeah, so
we're not sure. But the only 2 applications we've had lately have been through Sydney, so it hasn't mattered. But yeah, Melbourne's sort of not on the agenda at this stage.
Yeah, but hopefully, yeah, once the next, if our next lockdown restrictions ease at the end of August, then businesses like that can reopen when people can start going back into offices. But currently, yeah, the only option would be to hold off on that one until you can either travel interstate and go to one of the other centres, which you are able to do that, but obviously that's an additional cost for you if you want to do that. And at the moment, it's a bit difficult as well because there's self-isolating things in place. But as soon as we have any idea about when things are going to reopen, we'll make sure that you know what's going on with that. Any other questions?
And if that was from Freya, I'll give you a call tomorrow, Freya, if and we'll talk about it more.
Lovely. Cool. All right. Well, thank you everyone for tuning in. Hopefully that was some good, just short and sharp info on UK visa, and we will follow up with everyone as well and see what your own individual situation is and work through it with you. And yeah, let us know if you've got any questions. Right. We're all good. Well, Sharryn, Suzi, thank you for your support too.
No problem.
Cool.
See ya.
Bye.
Bye.